So you think it's harder to score 30 points in a EuroLeague game than it is in an NBA game?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, you heard that right. But you may be asking yourself, why is one of the best scorers in the league saying it's more difficult to play in the EuroLeague than the NBA? And that question is 100% valid. But Luka isn't the only player saying this. Players like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic also share this opinion with Luka. Hell, even Jamal Murray agreed.
Even in there is no three, Nikki. So even the floor is smaller. The big man can be in a paint.
Speaking of Jamal Murray, it's a surprise that Canada didn't make a deeper run in this year's Olympics because they had the perfect team for it. Imagine Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander all guarding you on the perimeter, and the court is way smaller. Going back to Giannis Antetokounmpo though, he had this quote that credited the EuroLeague for some of his growth and his game evolving. Now let's get into the actual reasons as to why European players have been growing so much and have even become better than the American players in the last 5 years or so. For starters, Europe has advanced training and development systems. They focus on gaining skill from such a young age. Take Luka Doncic, for example. He was exposed to high-level professional basketball at such a young age. Luka was a kid playing against literal grown men with full beards when he signed with Real Madrid, the basketball team, not the soccer team. Another reason why European players look so dominant in the NBA is because Europe has a strong emphasis on playing through your team and being strategic about it. Spain, for example, is known for producing amazing passers. In the NBA, you'll see more ISO than anything else most of the time. That's why a team like the San Antonio Spurs was so amazing to watch. Sure, they had Tim Duncan, who wound up being the greatest power forward of all time, but it was a team that focused on movement of the ball. The style of play made them so much better than everybody else, and it showed in their deep playoff runs. Fundamentals are so much more valued in Europe. The players over there are nowhere near as athletic, so they're forced to learn the game more. The perfect example of this would be Nikola Jokic. Jokic is the literal embodiment of European basketball, and he just so happens to be the best player in the world. That's not a coincidence. He's a triple-double machine, despite his lack of athleticism as a center. Although I'm not sure his athleticism is that much of a problem anymore. Anyway, there's nothing that this man doesn't excel at offensively. In addition to this, he's a monster rebounder. Let's take a look at some of the plays from the most recent Los Angeles Lakers versus Denver Nuggets series. After a Laker miss, Nikola Jokic runs down the court while Anthony Davis is jogging up the court, which forces Davis to switch onto somebody else and have somebody else switch onto Jokic. In this instance, it was LeBron James that picked up. And as you can see, this didn't turn out very well for the King. He even out-rebounds Anthony Davis in this next clip and gets up the court faster than him again. Jokic has no business doing these things against a player like Anthony Davis, who has every single physical advantage. European players weren't stars in the NBA until the 80s and 90s, where players like Drazen Petrovic, Toni Kukoc, and Domantas Sabonis' father, Arvydas Sabonis, I know I botched that, but bear with me here, showed that European players are just as cold on the court as American players. The game became so much more popular when Michael Jordan and the Dream Team assembled back in 1992 to take home the gold. They showed the world just how beautiful the sport of basketball is. This inspired an entirely new generation of players that came from all across the globe. As more and more European players began to show how skillful the players over there were, they were also changing the perspectives and stereotypes that were once placed upon European players. Things like they were soft or less talented. Players like Dirk Nowitzki, Pau Gasol, and later Giannis Antetokounmpo proved that not only could they compete, but they can also dominate, especially Dirk Nowitzki, who managed to win the NBA Finals against a team of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, with a roster that consisted of Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Kidd, who was the current Dallas Mavericks coach, and Tyson Chandler, Sean Marion, 6'2" Jason Terry, and 5'10" JJ Barea. Jason Terry not only outscored LeBron James in a couple of the games, but he also totaled more points than LeBron in that series, with 108 points to LeBron's 107. Dirk Nowitzki also outscored LeBron James in the series despite playing 3 less minutes a game. He averaged 26 points to LeBron's 17. He finished the series with 156 points to LeBron's 107, like I mentioned earlier. In that same finals, Dirk Nowitzki sent home a ton of American greats in the league at the time by eliminating the Portland Trail Blazers led by LaMarcus Aldridge, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. And then Dirk Nowitzki led the Dallas Mavericks to a series win versus Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol, who led the prestigious Lakers team at that time. Nowitzki and his Dallas Mavericks made it look easy too, winning 4 games in a row to complete the sweep. This recent Olympics had a great turnout, and a couple of teams almost managed to get the best of Team USA. It started when Team USA matched up against South Sudan. Everyone thought it would have been easy work with JT Thor, Carlik Jones, and Wenyen Gabriel being the more notable players of that team. And that doesn't really sound like a challenge for a team with Steph Curry, LeBron LeBron James and Joel Embiid. Steph got off to a rough start in the Olympics, and specifically with that game, going 3 for 10 against the lengthy defenders at South Sudan. Anthony Davis and Anthony Edwards also had a hard time getting it going, with Davis shooting 33% and Anthony Edwards shooting 36% from the field. If that wasn't shocking enough, wait until you realize just how easy Team USA made it. South Sudan wound up being on fire from 3, and that was not a coincidence. Team USA had very questionable defense, and at certain points, it simply looked like they just weren't believers. Look at how LeBron James chose to guard JT Thor in the closing seconds of the game. Luckily for Team USA, LeBron James turned into Captain America and hit the game-winning layup to make up for his mistake. Team USA then matched up against Serbia, who also gave them problems. It was the Europeans passing which led to wide open opportunities from 3. It helps that this team also has Nikola Jokic and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Ever heard of the term, if you can't beat them, join them? I know LeBron has.
That's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.
I say this because the only reason why USA even clawed out of all these games is strictly because of them adopting the way that the Europeans play. They seemingly find the beauty of passing in the most chaotic moments and constantly delivering. In this play, for instance, LeBron finds Kevin Durant for the wide open 3 and generates a crucial 4-point play, which changes the momentum of the game entirely. I can't believe we've gone this far in the video without mentioning Joel Embiid all that much. He's the only European player to drop 70 plus points, and he did it on Victor Wembanyama of all people. And that kid is something that we've never even seen before, which makes Embiid's 70 points 5 times more impressive. Embiid is up there with guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic. He actually won his first MVP just 2 seasons ago in 2023. Why do you think European players have been exploding onto the scene the way that they have? And do you think that they've surpassed American players? If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.